Have you ever looked up at the moon and wondered what's up there? Since ancient times, the moon has been a source of myths, legends, and dreams. But what if we could travel to it? What would we discover on its surface? Science fiction has explored these questions for centuries, imagining trips to the moon, encounters with aliens, and futuristic lunar colonies. Get ready for an epic journey through the history of lunar science fiction, from the early visions of Jules Verne to modern explorations. We'll discover how the human imagination conquered the moon long before our feet ever touched its surface. But when did our fascination with the moon truly begin? Who were the first to dream of traveling to our natural satellite? Find out in the next section. In 1865, the visionary Jules Verne took us on an extraordinary journey, from the Earth to the moon. His novel, a daring blend of science and fiction, imagined a group of adventurers launched into space in a capsule shot from a gigantic cannon. Verne, with his genius, anticipated many of the challenges of space travel: weightlessness, life support systems. He even predicted the splashdown in the ocean. Although some of his ideas were imaginative, his novel captured the excitement and wonder of space exploration, inspiring generations of scientists and dreamers. From the Earth to the Moon was not only a milestone in literature, but also a stepping stone to humanity's future in the cosmos. Human imagination has always sought to conquer the unknown. But how did the first science fiction writers imagine a trip to the moon? Get ready to learn about Jules Verne's incredible vision in his novel, From the Earth to the Moon. Jules Verne, a true visionary. In 1865, long before man set foot on the moon, Verne took us on an extraordinary journey through his novel, From the Earth to the Moon. His idea? Launch a manned capsule into space using a giant cannon. While it might sound crazy, Verne not only gave us an epic adventure, but he also anticipated many of the real challenges of space travel: weightlessness, life support systems. He even predicted the splashdown. His novel captured the excitement and wonder we feel when exploring the unknown. From the Earth to the Moon was not only a milestone in literature, but it inspired generations of scientists and dreamers to reach for the stars. Verne showed us that imagination can be the first step towards reality. Jules Verne's vision of a journey to the moon was revolutionary for its time. But how did his work impact other authors and the evolution of lunar science fiction? Find out in the next section. Jules Verne's legacy is undeniable. His novel, From the Earth to the Moon, not only took us on an epic journey, but it also ignited the spark of imagination in a whole generation of writers and scientists. H.G. Wells, the creator of The War of the Worlds, was inspired by Verne to imagine alien invasions from Mars. Edgar Rice Burroughs, author of Tarzan, transported us to a moon inhabited by strange creatures in his series John Carter of Mars. The moon became an infinite stage for human creativity. From utopian colonies to secret military bases, science fiction explored all the possibilities of our natural satellite. And the most amazing thing is that Verne's vision, once considered pure fantasy, came true. 100 years after the publication of his novel, man stepped on the moon for the first time. Science fiction became science. Jules Verne opened the doors to lunar exploration in science fiction, but other authors dared to go even further. What strange and wonderful creatures inhabited the moon in their imaginations? Find out in the next section. While Jules Verne showed us a journey to the moon based on science, other authors embarked on the adventure with more peculiar ideas. In 1835, a mysterious writer introduced us to Hans Pfaall, a man desperate to escape his debts. His solution? Build a hot air balloon and fly to the moon. And he wasn't the only one. In this era, the moon became a playground for the imagination. There were stories of giant moon people, lunar plants that grew at incredible speeds, and even moon cheese with magical properties. Although these stories may seem absurd to us today, they reflect the human fascination with the unknown and our desire to explore the limits of imagination. The moon, with its craters and mysteries, was the perfect setting for these amazing adventures. The moon has been a blank canvas for the human imagination for centuries. But how did our perception of the moon change with the advent of the space age and the Cold War? Join us as we explore the moon in mid-20th century science fiction. The mid-20th century was a time of great change and technological advancement. The Cold War and the space race fueled our fascination with the moon, transforming it from a distant dream into an achievable goal. Authors like Robert Heinlein, Arthur C. Clarke, and Isaac Asimov, giants of science fiction, led us to imagine lunar bases, mining missions, and even encounters with aliens. The moon became a reflection of our ambitions and fears. These stories, full of optimism and at the same time a certain anxiety, captured the spirit of an era marked by exploration and uncertainty. Would the moon be a place of peace and cooperation, or a new battlefield for the superpowers? Science fiction invited us to dream, but also to reflect on the future of humanity in space. The moon became a stage for exploring the dreams and fears of humanity. But how did Isaac Asimov, one of the great masters of science fiction, imagine our future on the natural satellite? Find out in the next section. Isaac Asimov, a titan of science fiction. This master of words transported us to a future where humanity was no longer confined to Earth. In his robot series, the moon became a starting point for the colonization of the solar system. Asimov showed us a transformed moon, with bustling cities and advanced technology contrasting with its arid and desolate surface. His stories went beyond simple adventure. They explored the social and ethical implications of our technological advancement. How do we adapt to new worlds? What is the role of robots in our society? How do we preserve our humanity in a constantly changing universe? Asimov challenged us to think about the future, to imagine the possibilities and dangers that await us as we venture beyond our home planet. His legacy in science fiction is as vast as the cosmos itself. Asimov showed us a colonized and technologically advanced moon. But what other possible futures await our natural satellite? Will it be a reflection of our earthly problems, or a place to build a new beginning? Keep watching to find out. Get ready for a mind-blowing journey beyond imagination. In 1968, Arthur C. Clarke gave us a masterpiece of science fiction, 2001, A Space Odyssey. Although the story spans the cosmos, the moon plays a crucial role. It is there that we discover the first monolith, an enigmatic object that awakens humanity's curiosity and drives it towards the stars. Clarke shows us the moon as we've never seen it before. Vast, silent, and full of mystery. His description evokes a sense of wonder and at the same time uneasiness. What secrets does our natural satellite hide? What does the future hold for you in space? 2001 is not just a movie about space exploration. It is a philosophical journey that invites you to reflect on your place in the universe and the impact of technology on our evolution. Are we prepared for what awaits us beyond Earth? Join us on this space odyssey and discover the answers. The moon has witnessed our dreams and failures, our hopes and our fears. But what does the moon look like in contemporary science fiction? What new stories and challenges await us in this familiar yet still mysterious setting? Don't miss the next section. Next. Houston, we have a change of plans. At the end of the 20th century, the moon was no longer a distant dream. We had conquered it. But what to do now? What would be the next step for humanity in space? Science fiction, always one step ahead, began to imagine new scenarios for our natural satellite. The moon was no longer a pristine and unexplored place, but a reflection of Earth, with its lights and shadows. The stories showed us lunar colonies, mining bases, and even interplanetary conflicts. The moon became a stage for exploring themes such as corporate greed, social inequality, and the ethical dilemmas of an increasingly advanced society. Would we be able to take our problems to another world? Or would the moon offer us the opportunity to build a better future? Science fiction challenged us to reflect on our destiny in the cosmos. The moon is no longer just a destination for exploration. Now, science fiction invites us to imagine a future where the moon is our home. What would it be like to live in a lunar colony? What challenges and opportunities await us? Find out in the next section. The moon, a mere stepping stone or our new home? Modern science fiction goes beyond the excitement of early space travel. Now it asks us deeper questions. What would it be like to live on the moon permanently? What challenges would we face? And what opportunities would it offer us? Authors like Andy Weir, the mastermind behind The Martian, take us to Artemis, a bustling and lively lunar city. But not everything is perfect in this near future. The protagonist, a young smuggler, shows us that the moon can also be a place of intrigue and danger. This new wave of lunar science fiction reminds us that even in space, humanity is still human. But it also invites us to dream of a future where the moon is more than a tourist destination or a scientific base. Could we build a sustainable home on our natural satellite? Will the moon be the first step towards the colonization of space? The future is full of possibilities. The moon has witnessed our first steps in space and our dreams of a future beyond Earth. But what lessons can we learn from our successes and failures on the moon? How can we ensure that our presence in space is a force for good? Let's reflect together in the next section. The moon, silent witness to our ambitions and our failures. After the euphoria of man's arrival on the moon, space exploration slowed down, leaving behind abandoned projects and unfulfilled dreams. Science fiction reflected this reality, showing the moon as a graveyard of rusty spaceships and deserted lunar bases. In works like Robert Heinlein's The Moon is a Harsh Mistress, the moon becomes a stage for rebellion against Earth, a place where humanity struggles to free itself from oppression and build a new future. But even in its desolation, the moon remains a powerful symbol. It reminds us that our dreams may fade, but also that hope and the struggle for a better future should never be extinguished. What does the future hold for us on the moon? Will we return to explore its mysteries? Or will we leave it as a reminder of our past ambitions? The fate of the moon is in our hands. The moon, a place of exploration and discovery, but also a reflection of our own humanity. What does science fiction tell us about ourselves through the stories it tells about the moon? Get ready for an introspective journey in the next section. The moon, a mirror that reflects our own humanity. In science fiction, our natural satellite becomes a stage for exploring who we are, where we come from, and where we are going. In Heinlein's The Moon is a Harsh Mistress, we see a lunar society fighting for its freedom, challenging established norms, and seeking its own destiny. Does the moon offer us the opportunity to reinvent ourselves, to create a better world? And in Clarke's The Sentinel, the discovery of an ancient alien artifact on the moon makes us question our place in the universe. Are we alone? What does it mean to be human in such a vast cosmos? The moon in these stories becomes a mirror that shows us our strengths, our weaknesses, and our contradictions. It invites us to reflect on our own humanity and to imagine the infinite possibilities that await us in the future. The moon has been the inspiration for countless science fiction stories. But what does the real future of lunar exploration hold? Will science fiction become reality? What challenges and opportunities await us in this new space age? Find out in the conclusion of our journey. The line between science fiction and reality is blurring more and more. The moon, once an exclusive setting for the imagination, is now in the sights of governments and private companies planning to establish a permanent human presence. As we prepare for this new chapter in space exploration, science fiction continues to be our guide. It challenges us to think about the ethical implications of our actions, to anticipate the consequences of our decisions, and to build a future in which humanity is a positive force on the moon. Will we exploit its resources responsibly? Will we create a just and equitable society on our natural satellite? Or will we repeat the mistakes of the past in a new world? The moon offers us a unique opportunity to learn from our stories and build a better future. The future of the moon is no longer just in books and movies. It is being written right now in laboratories, boardrooms, and launch centers around the world. It is time to look up toward that silver beacon in the night sky and remember that the destiny of the moon, and perhaps our own, is in our hands. The moon, our celestial neighbor, has been a mirror of our dreams, fears, and aspirations throughout the history of science fiction. From the first imaginary voyages to futuristic colonies, the moon has challenged us to think big and explore the limits of what is possible. What does the future hold for us on the moon? Will we walk on its surface again? Will we build cities in its craters? Or will we discover new life forms beyond our planet? Science fiction invites us to dream, to imagine, and to question. And the moon will continue to be an infinite stage for our stories and our hopes. If you enjoyed this journey through the moon in science fiction, give it a like and subscribe to our channel for more cosmic adventures. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and leave us your comments on what other topics you would like us to explore. Until next time, restless minds.